The following announcement has been paid for by Perched on the Top Rope.
I see you. This is Perched on the top rope, and I'm the boogeyman, and I'm coming to get ya!
Welcome everyone to Perched on the Top Rope. I am your host, former dirt sheet writer from Ringside News, Daily DDT, Sportskeeda, and more. I am Lee Walker, and tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, folks, we have WWE Backlash St. Louis. That's right. The 2025 edition of Backlash is also being promoted as Backlash St. Louis, where in the recent past, and I mean the recent past few years, Backlash has been advertised as Backlash WrestleMania. Now, this will be the 20th Backlash event, and now the event is based around the Backlash from WrestleMania 41, but we've stopped calling it Backlash WrestleMania or WrestleMania Backlash. Now, this event will also feature John Cena's first appearance at Backlash since 2009, which it'll also be his last Backlash appearance as an in-ring performer due to retirement from professional wrestling at the end of 2025. Now, if you're like me, you are going to be able to meet him at Philly Fan Expo Saturday, March 17th. Yes, I'm looking forward to that, and I realize I'm paying for a photo that I'm not going to be able to see anybody in. But it's worth it. So fans, let's get into the Backlash card, give my predictions, and how we got here. And folks, the first match up is going to be for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. It is Dominik Mysterio taking on Penta. And how did this happen? Well, it all started when Dominik Mysterio had actively been trying to have Penta join the Judgment Day. But at night 2 of WrestleMania 41, Dominik Mysterio won the Intercontinental Championship in a fatal 4-way that also involved Penta, Finn Balor, and Finn Balor was the one who was actually pinned. And of course it involved the champion Braun Breaker. On the next episode of Raw, Mysterio successfully defended his championship against Penta, but this was also with interference of a returning JD McDonough. So on the next episode of Raw, Penta interfered in Balor and McDonough's tag team match, which would cost them the match and the titles against the War Raiders. So a week later, Penta defeated McDonough despite interference from Balor and Carlito, and later that night it was announced that Mysterio would defend his Intercontinental Championship against Penta at Backlash. Now, if you're like me, you're in complete awe at how the crowd reacted to Dominik Mysterio winning the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. I was there, and it was absolutely crazy to hear them cheer for him when the man couldn't even speak on a microphone because he would get booed so much. So, my honest opinion is I don't think they're ready for Dominik Mysterio to lose that championship yet, especially with everything that's going down in the Judgment Day. And if he does lose, I feel like it's going to be because the interference in the match that was supposed to help him did not help him. Anyway, I'm going to say Dominik Mysterio wins and retains. And the next match, a WWE United States Championship match, which is the following. Jacob Fatu is defending against LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre in a fatal 4-way. And how did we get here? Well, at night 1 of WrestleMania 41, Jacob Fatu defeated LA Knight to win the United States Championship. A day later at night 2, Drew McIntyre defeated Damian Priest in a Sin City street fight. And on the following episode of SmackDown, during the Bloodline, or what's left of the Bloodline, Fatu and Solo Sikoa celebration, Knight interrupted, stating that he wanted his rematch. This led to Drew McIntyre also interrupting, and after taunting Damian Priest, he stated that he also wanted a championship match, with SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis scheduling a match between Knight and McIntyre later that night to determine a number one contender for Fatu's United States Championship. Well, during the match, Priest would attack Drew McIntyre while Solo Sikoa attacked LA Knight. However, it was Jacob Fatu who stood tall over Knight and Priest. And on the next episode of SmackDown, Knight and Priest would face off against each other in a no contest due to interference from Solo Sikoa. Following the match, Priest and Knight brawled with Fatu and Sikoa, which led to Nick Aldis scheduling a triple threat match between Fatu, Priest, and Knight for the United States Championship at Backlash. However, after Solo Sikoa stated that McIntyre should receive a championship match because of his disqualification win, Nick Aldis scheduled it as a fatal four-way match for the championship, now involving Drew McIntyre instead at Backlash. Now, we know that the Bloodline story is going to be coming to an end. I'm fairly certain we're going to be seeing Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa in the very near future. And I see it being for the United States Championship. And with that being said, I do not see Jacob Fatu losing this match. And I'm going to say that hashtag and still WWE United States Champion, Jacob Fatu. And the next match, fan, is a treat because this next man doesn't wrestle often. But it's Pat McAfee taking on Gunther. That's right, the commentator for Raw and pay-per-views will be squaring off one-on-one against the former WWE World Champion, Gunther. So, on Raw, after Mania, Gunther came out and argued with commentators Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, as Gunther felt disrespected by them following his loss at WrestleMania for how they were talking about the loss and celebrating the Jey Uso with eating and dancing on the table, so on and so forth. So, Gunther then attacked Michael Cole, which led to McAfee attacking Gunther in Cole's defense. However, Gunther managed to overpower McAfee and put him in his sleeper hold and choked him out. Gunther was fined and suspended by Raw General Manager Adam Pearce, and the following week, McAfee wanted to fight Gunther and asked for SmackDown's General Manager Nick Aldis, who was subbing in for Pearce for that night, to lift Gunther's suspension. Aldis declined and instead proposed a match between them at Backlash, which McAfee greatly accepted. Now, I have no problem with the match itself, but after, when Gunther had choked out McAfee, I felt like McAfee way oversold it. Just completely oversold it. I felt like it killed what was going on. They showed him for like 5 to 7 minutes, like choking and struggling to breathe and having to stop and all this other stuff. It was just, I thought it was just way too much. And I felt like they tried to just oversell it completely. And that's exactly what happened. Gunther has like an 80% time of being in WWE as a champion, which McAfee brought up in his promo on Monday. As far as who's going to win this match, I feel like Gunther's going to take the defeat and go back to spending time with his wife and his newborn child. To which I say congratulations to Gunther and his wife. But I think Pat McAfee wins this one. And our next match is for the Women's Intercontinental Championship as Lyra Valkeria takes on the man, Becky Lynch. And how did this come about? Well, prior to night 1 of WrestleMania 41, Bayley, who was supposed to team with Lyra for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match on night 2 of the event, was found attacked backstage by an unknown assailant, requiring Lyra to find a new partner. So on night 2, it was Becky Lynch who made a surprise return as Lyra Valkeria's surprise mystery partner as they won the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. However, in a rematch on the next night of Raw, they lost the titles as Valkeria was the one who was pinned, and the belts went back to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Following the match, Becky attacks Lyra. Thus, Becky Lynch turns heel for the first time since 2022. It's only been 3 years. It's not like that's a long time. And in the following week, Becky Lynch revealed that she was the one who attacked Bayley, and she also stated that she attacked Valkeria because Lyra's friendship with Bayley, whom Lynch had numerous problems with in recent years. Valkeria interrupted and challenged Lynch to a fight for that night. However, Lynch declined. Thus, it was decided that the Women's Intercontinental Championship would be on the line against Becky Lynch at Backlash. Of course, Becky's not turning that down. And Lyra had a great promo where, she was like, Becky was the first at this, Becky was the first at that, but I'm the first Intercontinental Champion for the women. For the Women's Intercontinental Championship, yes. Otherwise, I would say that China is the first Women's Intercontinental Champion, being honest here. So, I think this is where we have a hashtag and new Women's Intercontinental Champion, Becky Lynch. It really seems to me that WWE is going to solidify Becky as a Grand Slam champion here. I feel like that's the move they're going with. And that even though Lyra was the first champion, they really don't have much going on. They haven't really done anything with her as champion. So this is the route I think they're going to go. And before we get to the main event, folks, make sure you like and comment on this video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. After all, it's perched on the top rope because spoiler free's the way to be. And folks, it is the main event. It is the WWE Undisputed Championship. It is one last time John Cena facing Randy Orton for the championship. For those, if you don't know what happened at WrestleMania 41 on night 2, John Cena won the Undisputed WWE Championship, becoming a record 17-time WWE World Champion, defeating Cody Rhodes. The following night on Raw, Cena gloated about his win, only for longtime rival Randy Orton to attack Cena with an RKO. And on SmackDown that Friday, as Cena was about to cut another promo, he was interrupted by Randy Orton again, who tried to reason with the now villainous Cena, who originally turned heel at Elimination Chamber in Toronto back in March. After an exchange of words, Orton challenged Cena to a match for the championship later that night. However, Cena declined. I'm noticing an issue with champions declining lately. Cena stated that the match should happen in Orton's hometown of St. Louis at Backlash. And the match was made official and has been billed as one last time. My honest opinion is Cena is not going to lose the championship. I have a feeling that he holds this thing until the very end of his career in December. I think we're going to see run-ins. I think we're going to see all sorts of stuff with this match. I'm very excited. I mean, I'm also excited the fact that on March 17th at Philly Fan Expo, I'm meeting John Cena too. So there's that. This is and still WWE Undisputed Champion John Cena. Fans, make sure you go to youtube.com at Perched on the Top Rope for all my other awesome interviews, unboxing videos, card breaks, and more. There's also WWE 2K game footage. Just check it out, subscribe, like, comment, do all that fun stuff. You can find us at facebook.com/Perched on the Top Rope with over 23,000 subscribers strong. We are on X at Perched Top Rope because Perched on the Top Rope was too long. You can find us on Instagram at Threads at Perched on the Top Rope Podcast. We are on Blue Sky. It's Perched on the Top Rope. We're on TikTok. You can find us there, Perched on the Top Rope. Have hilarious videos, including Selena scenes, because Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On, makes everything better. And if you don't like that, well, rest in peace. There's a video of Kevin Sullivan being humped by a dog. You heard that right. The Taskmaster being humped by a dog. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, spoiler free's the way to be. Enjoy Backlash tonight, folks.